Hey guys, number one Marduk fan here, looking at Sonic Select Book 4. The Sonic Select books are not comprehensive archives of the Archie Sonic comics. They're either selected based on one story arc or time period or a theme. And in the case of Book 4, the theme is Sonic's adventures in other universes. The thing about other universe stories is I have a love-hate relationship with them. I feel like they are an important part of, fun superhero comics where it's a type of adventure. We're going to go to another universe. But in this universe, the good guys are bad and the bad guys are good. And I actually kind of like that because that's more sort of like connecting to the tradition of comics as a silly variety of adventures, and another universe is just it could be saving a cat out of a tree one day and going to another universe another day. Now, since DC Comics and Crisis on Infinite Earths, it's kind of become like this hyper complex. There are a million dimensions, and we're the guardians of the prime dimension, and all the dimensions are at war with one another. So one of the things I actually appreciated about Sonic Select Book 4 is it's more other universes in this tone of this will be a fun adventure to go on, rather than other universes in the tone of like complex multi-reality. Maybe with the exception of some of the Dan Slott stories. What? Dan Slott? Yes, well, I'm sure while Dan Slott was living in a pile of trash with rotting pizza all around him, Dan Slott worked on the Archie Sonic comics. I didn't know that. So the thing I'm finding about Archie Sonic comics is I kind of love half of them. Half of them I'll just legitimately like absolutely love them, and the other half will just be so weird, and I won't hate them. They'll be weird in a I kind of admire you for going this weird, cool kind of way, but they are definitely consistently inconsistent in their weirdness. So the first little Dan Slott story is a prelude to Zone Wars, where it's just like Dan Slott says, well, what if some of the Sonic characters in another universe were like Sailor Moon characters, and Sally's like Sailor Moon, and Amy Rose is like Chibi Usagi, and Tuxedo Knuckles. Oh, good grief. So I kind of love it and hate it, because on the one hand, it is just like, let's do parodies with Sonic. And I think that Sonic, because they're kind of weird little animal characters, they're perfect for doing parodies of other types of books. On the other hand, it doesn't do much other than just saying, oh, well, it's just like Sailor Moon, but with Sonic characters. Now, it is kind of fun reading this as a weeb, because you'll see Gatchaman references, you'll see Godzilla references. Okay, this whole page is like full. There's also this clever idea where the guy who's like the interdimensional cop lives in a perpendicular dimension, so he's always standing perpendicular to Sonic, right? That's a very good visual idea. And then he explains that, well, the reason I can travel between the zones is there are all these parallel dimensions, but only the perpendicular dimension cuts through them all. That's a really great, simple idea to explain something that could be like, alternate dimensions could get really complex or really sci-fi jargony, and this is just like a simple little visual idea to explain it. So this is a great page because it just shows you like dozens and dozens of little parodies and alternate Sonics, everything from like Spider-Man to Batman to Daredevil to Star Trek. It's just that to me is just kind of fun, because it's just like saying there could be all these different universes where all these different Sonics could be existing. Oh yeah, and then sometimes things like Sonic Underground will show up. So when I read this story, I started to get the feeling that, okay, the Archie comics are definitely their own weird thing. I read the first few, and the first few had a couple stories that felt like the cartoon, but as they've kind of like, as the cast has been expanding, as the universe has been expanding, and the multiple universes have been showing up, Archie Comics Sonic has definitely become like its own very unique, tonally distinct thing. So like the cartoon, if the tone of the cartoon is simple adventures of good versus evil with like Radical Sonic and the Freedom Fighters taking on Robotnik, or if this Adventures of the Sonic cartoon is just wacky Bugs Bunny style humor where Sonic's just humiliating a ridiculous Robotnik, Archie Comics Sonic is more like, what if we took the weirdness of Silver Age DC comics where they're always going into alternate universes or alternate planets every other episode, or Superman gets hit by kryptonite and he turns fat or something. What if we just put Sonic into those kinds of situations? So it is very, very, very weird, but it's weird in a way that I kind of dig it. At least they're committed to the weirdness. Now, I am not good at spotting the names of these artists yet. They just put all of the artists' names at the front, and they didn't say who did what. So if there are some really weird and wonky Sonic artists, there are a couple that really nail like the sort of like a clean cartoony style where the characters are either, this isn't the one I was thinking of, where either the characters are on model, similar to what they look like in the show, or if they're stylized, they're kind of stylized in a way where they're not, like their faces aren't distorting every other page. I really like this whole book. What's this one called? I can't find it. Dang it. It's the one where Sonic and Knuckles swap brains. And I didn't see the chapter title for it anywhere. I'd appreciate maybe like a little bit more detail on the title page to like say which issue it's from and who the artists are. Then they had like a Son Wukong reference, and Sonic doesn't even show up. It's just like, what if there was an alternate universe where it was just totally Song Wukong written in sort of like an Archie Sonic the Hedgehog style snark, which is weird because in most of them, like Sonic shows up from the other universe and like hangs out with them. I don't know. It's kind of cool since I know as an adult who's Song Wukong in the Journey to the West what that is. You would definitely as a kid just get like a whole bunch of weird, like, whoa, what's this stuff? Whoa, what's this stuff? I don't know what any of this stuff is referencing, but I think it'd actually be kind of cool. All right, I marked this page because I don't know the artist, but so this would be an example of what I would say of really weird Sonic art. You can kind of see how like the head and hands got drawn first and then the body got plopped behind it. So there's this weird thing where I'm not sure how his head connects to his body, but there's also like this really dynamic foreshortening on his hands and feet that even though it is kind of weird, it definitely, it isn't boring, all right? It's weird, it's a little ugly and jankety, but it's definitely not boring, all right? Whereas in contrast, oh yeah, Sonic goes to another universe where Sally McAcorn, the lawyer, defends him. All right, my absolute favorite issue in this series was Sonic Blast #1. If there are any like Archie Sonic comic nerds who could help me identify this artist, please let me know because this is clearly like, this is one of the best Sonic artists I've ever seen. Everything is drawn basically on model to the animated series, and it has really clean line work where there's a mix of ambition with like, you know, big close-up shots and really, you know, detailed perspective shots. I think this is based on Sonic 3D Blast. The story itself is a very simple, like Robotnik's up to no good, turning cute little animals into robots, so Sonic's got to stop them, and Sonic's in love with Sally. I kind of feel like Sonic's at his best at this very simple, identify good guys, bad guys, a kid understands what everything that's going on kind of level. The alternate universes things was fun for me as an adult because I caught most of the references and the parodies, but I definitely feel like this is one of the best issues, not only artistically, but story-wise, because it just has Sonic fighting Robotnik in a battle to save an alternate universe for a bunch of cute little animals. And just cool things like Sonic can move so fast, he can scoop up a ball of water and turn it into a water ball before the disbursement of the physics of displacement affect the ball of water. Great stuff like that. So this issue, what I'm finding with the Sonic Selects is it's a very wild variance in quality from like, okay, that exists. I guess that's a thing, to really excellent single issues. If I were making a select edition, I would like to have like a whole select edition of just stories of the quality of which one was Sonic Blast, right? The weird stories do add some kind of charm and humor to it for me because it's so odd and off kilter. But I would actually recommend picking up these Sonic Selects or some of the Archie Sonic comics because you are going to get a few gems like these that I think like hit all the cylinders artistically and story wise, and you're gonna get some like really wacky, weird stuff that's just you're not gonna believe it exists. You're not gonna be sure that anything that weird could possibly exist. All right, so that's Sonic Select Book 4. We don't need a stinking 10-minute video. Oh, I just hit the 10-minute mark. Well, there you go, YouTube algorithm. I'm a sellout. I'm number one Marmaduke fan. I love you guys. Catch you later.